What's up, my Seville? And today we're here to talk about how Doctor Strange can recast T'Challa. So hi, if you're new here, my name is Buckmeister Cool from Meister Geek Media. I talk all sorts of geek media, from comic books to anime, to video games and all sorts of sci-fi. So if all of that stuff interests you and piques your interest a little bit, please feel free to tickle that subscribe button so you never miss a video. So yeah, this is a very touchy subject. I'm not unaware of how touchy this subject is. In fact, I'm actually planning a video to discuss the brewing civil war between Black Panther fans or whatever. And if you're interested in that video, also feel free to subscribe. But yeah, so that you never miss that video, because I think it's going to be an interesting one and it's a topic that needs to be talked about. But today we're specifically going to talk about how the Multiverse of Madness is going to be the perfect way that they can introduce a new T'Challa while satisfying everybody's qualms. Now, I've heard plenty of people say they can just recast him going forward, and that, they can have references to Chadwick Boseman's life throughout the movies to honor him that way. I'm just thinking in a narrative sense that it might be a little bit weird, for because let's be honest, before we actually even get into the way that I want to recast T'Challa, let's just be honest first off and foremost. A lot of people were not comic book fans. A lot of black people were not comic book fans across the world, right? And a lot of people did not know about Black Panther. Let's just be honest. A lot of people did not know. Black Panther was a character that always had to struggle. He was either always playing backpedal to the Avengers, he was always in a limited capacity in the Avengers, from the cartoons to the comic books, and he struggled. He struggled to get volumes of comics. I think even up until now, he's got, I want to say, is it 7 volumes or is it 6 volumes? I'm not sure. Might be 76 volumes of comics, which is not a lot. It's more than some other characters, but it's not a lot. Like, if you start looking at the Iron Man, if you start looking at Spider-Man, you're looking at 13, 14, 15 volumes of comics. They easily have double the amount of comics that Black Panther has, or double the amount of runs that Black Panther has. So yeah, for a long time, it was like black comic book nerds who were still, it was still weird for that thing to be a thing when Black Panther was struggling to climb up the ranks in terms of characters. It was still weird for black people to like comic books. I know, because I was there. It's boomer talk. But yeah, that being said, the movie blew a lot of that out of the water. The movie blew a lot of that out of the water. Because, like, remember, again, Iron Man, Captain America, the Hulk, as much as they were B tier or B list characters, they were always in the ethos of entertainment. They were always in cartoons, they were always in some form of cartoon movie or something. They were always around, so people always had an idea of who they were. Whereas Black Panther, that was not the case. Black Panther struggled to get animation, struggles to get, merchandise, struggled to be pushed out there as a character. He struggled until the movie came out. And that movie was a cultural phenomenon. It changed a lot of stuff within entertainment across the world. Let's not even doubt that. And a lot of that had to do with Chadwick's performance. Because if Chadwick was whack in Civil War, there was no way we would get in the movie. If he was terrible in Civil War and people did not like the character in Civil War, Black Panther the movie was not going to happen. And now he did it, he killed it, and that is one of the reasons why people are so sacred of this dude's legacy, or whatever, of what he was able to bring to the character. So I say all of that to say they have to be careful about recasting T'Challa. They just have to. Okay? I know there's the comic book fans like me who are saying T'Challa is the character. Chadwick Boseman, while he did a great job, he is not T'Challa. T'Challa is not he's not the character. The character should be able to live on. Just like how they recast Spider-Man, and just like how they recast all of these things, how they recast the Hulk or whatever, the character should just be able to be recasted and move on. But I would implore you to hear me out and say that this is a unique situation because no one cared until the movie. Not like that. No one really cared. Not like that. And then because his image is cemented due to that movie, to get rid of that image and act like it's the same character with a different face, it's going to hurt a lot of people. That's just the fact. It is. Like, as much as you think it shouldn't, there's a lot of things we think shouldn't happen, but that's just going to happen. Like Kevin Feige's intentions, I understand. I understand. Again, I think we need to recast T'Challa. I think he has to be recasted. There's just no way he cannot be recasted. He has to be recasted. But like Kevin Feige's intentions, while noble, they were also kind of misguided. So I'm just saying that I think to dead the character entirely is wrong. I understand why you want to do it. I understand why you're thinking about doing it, but to dead the character, no, don't. Let's not do that. Okay. So we have both sides of the arguments of Chadwick did this, but the character must still go on. How do we find a happy medium? Answer is the multiverse. So, if you're not new to comics, then you know that multiple versions of multiple characters exist all the time. And while that's a cool concept, sometimes I'm not a fan of it, but in this case, it would be a very, very easy fix. So, Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness happens. All right, multiverses is colliding, lots of things is going on. We get different versions of Captain America or whatever. They can show all of the versions of Captain America that they want to show. Okay, fantastic. They can do all of that stuff, right? Then we get to see Namor versus Black Panther, but this is not the Black Panther from the main timeline. This is totally new Black Panther. You even change up the design enough to make it distinct because Black Panthers had many designs. So you can go with something. You can go with something like the classical design from Black Panther Volume 3, which is totally different from the Black Panther that we have now. You can even maybe give him the cape, whatever the case is. You can do something like that. You can have him and Namor going at it. Okay. Now they don't. There doesn't have to be any context. The context can come from the dialogue. Okay, so we're in this new universe, right? Maybe Black Panther 3, because I think Black Panther 2 is going to happen anyway. I don't know how they're going to do that, but maybe Black Panther 3, you have the beginning, you have Black Panther versus Namor. They're in a heated battle, and Namor has essentially tried to end the universe, or has essentially brought about the end of the universe, trying to bring down Wakanda, because they're always having beef, especially if you've read the comic books. Namor and T'Challa, they do not like each other. So, in that ensuing chaos, in their ensuing battle, those two get teleported to the main timeline, or they get warped into the main timeline via like a portal because of the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness stuff that's going on, where they're changing reality. And then from there, Namor is in new timeline. Black Panther is in new timeline. They're confused, whatever. Like they don't know what's going on. Like they're not understanding what happened. Okay, Black Panther can put it together because he's a smart person. But yeah, he's still he's still dazed and confused, right? So then we cut to a memorial for Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther, right? It's a funeral, whatever. Shuri's there. She's gone through her changes as a character. She's getting ready to take over, whatever. And then she finds out that there's a person running around in a Black Panther costume. The design is totally distinct, totally different. Doesn't know this design at all, but it's a Black Panther suit nonetheless. Her and the Dora Milaje gear up to go find this new Black Panther, right? New Black Panther, he's got more skills, but they've got better tech. All right, maybe this Wakanda is just slightly like 5 years behind main timeline Wakanda. They still got the advanced technology, but their technology is like 10 years behind, type of thing. Just like creating a little bit of a gap, right? So they bring him to Wakanda. They find out that he's a T'Challa from another universe, like straight up. And his universe is dead. So they kind of bring him into the fold or whatever the case is, right? Now this T'Challa You can make him much more reclusive. You can make him much more in line with the T'Chaka's intentions of the mainline Black Panther. So you can make him more isolationist because that's what he was, and because it took an outsider to end the universe to try and destroy his kingdom, he's very he doesn't trust outsiders like that. I think that would be a nice dynamic. So now you get a fish out of water story with a character who's not living in his version of Wakanda, but like now he's trying to integrate into this newer Wakanda, right? And then from there you can get stories about his version of Wakanda, and then you can meld it with the current Wakanda, and you can just see the differences between the two Wakandas, which I think would be a great story dynamic. Then from there, we get to hear about his version of Shuri, his mother, his father, all of that stuff, his training and everything. They get to see that he's very much in line with how this mainline timeline work. Black Panther. I was about to say Wakanda. This mainline timeline Black Panther has been trained and everything, and then you can see that they're similar in their stature, but they're different in their characteristics, and you can take that via different angles and even maybe start shifting this newer T'Challa to be somewhere closer to the T'Challa that we had before Chadwick Boseman died. And then from there, you can push the character forward, and then you can take him in other directions and tell other more complicated stories. And from there, you can make Namor the main antagonist of Black Panther 3. Or 2 if they can recast him in time and rework the script. I just think that that would be the best way to satisfy everybody, because then we don't forget about Chadwick Boseman. Because we're not going to forget about Chadwick Boseman. It's not possible. And we don't just act like it's a recast where it's just a new character and we just move on with our lives or whatever. Like it doesn't feel like it's like a reface or whatever. I don't know if that's a term, but I think then people who wanted a new T'Challa will have a new T'Challa. And people who wanted the legacy of Chadwick Boseman to be preserved, it will be preserved. I think that is the best way to do it, is to use the multiverse of madness and bring in newer versions of the character. Tweet this at Kevin Feige if you can. Share this with whoever you can. I think this is just the best way to get it done. And I think this is a way that does truly satisfy everybody. Because and I know there's people who've had pushback on this idea. I know there's people who've had pushback on this idea because they've been in my comment section. And they bring up valid points. But again, at the end of the day, we made Black Panther what it is, right? Chadwick Boseman pulled us in, and we all decided as black people across the world that this movie is gonna make money. We did that. Do we want to split that fan base up? Do we want to have this fan base right down the middle? Again, if you're interested in how that's going to happen, I'm going to be making a video about it, so subscribe for that. But that is the question of the day that I ask you. Do you want that buying power to be split in half? Because that's what happened. That's what we communicated, and that's why Black Panther was such a cultural phenomenon. So I mean, that's the question we gotta ask ourselves out here. What do you think, Meisterville? Let me know in the comment section down below. Talk to your boy. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. As long as we keep it respectful, I will answer you, and I will go have a back and forth with you, and we can have a debate, a respectful debate. Because I know this is a touchy subject, this is a hard subject, and everybody's kind of in between a rock and a hard place at this point. Look at that. You made it to the end of the video. You are spectacular. If you like this video, I got another one up here. I got a playlist down there, and I got an icon you can click on to subscribe. Remember to ring the bell if you do subscribe, and I'll see you all in another video because Masterman's got to be out. Peace.